God, they have so many. Dude, the flip count at the Chili Bowl, dude, is up to like 15 or 16 right now. The first one of the week, dude, was on Saturday afternoon, pulling into the Chili Bowl. They unloaded one of the cars, and they were having some issues getting it started. And apparently, the throttle stuck, and the car went upside down and flipped in the parking lot. Yeah, the first flip of the Chili Bowl was in the parking lot. Yeah, talk about how to start a fucking week. Oh, it's the guy that's running 15th in this race, Bullyard. It was his car. The only thing that sucks is all these guys here in the C main. If you finish at the back of this field, you're basically starting off in like the P mains on fucking Saturday. Yeah, dude, no shit. No shit. Alrighty. Hello and welcome in to the Full Send Half Mast podcast episode number 105. Holy cow, that's crazy. All right, tonight we're going to be talking about a little bit of news to start off, but we're also going to preview this weekend's Chili Bowl Nationals, give you our race picks, our dark horses, as well as a 2025 World Endurance Championship season preview. We'll go over the schedule and some of our championship picks, as well as winners of the 24-hour Le Mans. And then also at the end of this podcast, we're going to round it out with our picks for the Roar before the 24, for the IMSA series opener, for the Rolex 24 qualifying. We'll pick our pool winners for each division. But I have Tom here with me tonight. Hey, Tom, how are you doing, dude?
Oh, I'm fantastic, brother. I'm ready to talk about some racing.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Alrighty. Let's start off with a little bit of news. I do want to cover some of this stuff here first. First off, Andy Cowell, new CEO, team principal of Aston Martin. I read this on the news page that Tom does an awesome job at keeping updated every day. We have to thank him for that. I don't know much about this guy, so I don't really know if this is a good move or bad move. Do you have an opinion on it, or maybe Aston Martin making some moves here?
You know,
I've heard of the name, but I just don't know of him that well, you know?
He came from... Where did he come from?
That's exactly
He
what
came
I'm
from
saying, dude. I don't know.
I can't even find the link I posted. But regardless, he came from a pretty big team. And, for him to be able to go to Aston Martin, Aston Martin's just throwing money right now. So, they got Adrian Newey. You look at the drivers to, questionable. The only one worth a crap is Alonso. So, but they got Adrian Newey, which is like, the biggest weapon in the paddock right now. So, anybody that they can add with outside influence like that is probably going to strengthen the program.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's kind of where my head is too. Maybe making some big moves, trying to inject some life into this team. We'll see how that all works out. Being the new team principal and CEO of Aston Martin, one of the only teams on the grid next year that didn't change driver lineups, like Tom mentioned, with Stroll and Fernando Alonso coming back. So we'll see how they do. We'll do a full F1 season preview here in a couple weeks. But we're getting into racing season, man. We're like, I don't know. I can't wait to talk a little bit about Chili Bowl later because I was glued to the TV all day yesterday, all day today, pretty much. So we'll talk about that, a little bit of that here as we go. First off, though, maybe a few days late to the party here on this, but we do our podcast every Tuesday. So here we're going to talk about it today. The new NASCAR rules implemented into 2025. First off, I want to get your opinion on this new 41st guaranteed entry for select races, basically a promoter's provisional. What are your thoughts on this?
It's weird, man. It's just weird. So NASCAR, this 41st entry is only going to be allowed for certain events at certain tracks. It's not going to be allowed for everybody. And it's promoter's choice. So the promoter can choose who they want to be in that 41st entry. To me, it's just like it's the original 43 car field with extra steps. It's just weird to me. I don't know. If you want more cars, then let cars race in the race.
It's that simple.
It really is. It's honestly, I have nothing else to say other than just weird.
Well, we used to have the top 35 provisionals, the car's owner points, and so we got to work around with that for years, and then they put a charter system in, 36 guarantees. Now they're going to add another guarantee for a promoter special. I think it's dumb. And that goes with the DVP rule too, Tom. This new where what they should have had from the beginning. They don't disqualify you now. Like if you have damage, you can go to the garage, you can fix it, and you can return to the track, which is the way it had been from the beginning of time of NASCAR. And then we went away from it, and now we're bringing it back. And now I don't get the long game here with having the DVP to begin with. What's the point? You know, like you
Well,
have 7 minutes to fix it on pit road, and then you can return back to the track and hit minimum speed. But if you don't hit the 7 minutes, you go to the garage, but you can still come back. I mean, it just seems like an extra step that doesn't need to be taken there.
here's this is an aspect that should be looked at in a light like this. I believe it's okay to try new things. Trying new things and changing is always going to be a part of the sport. I mean, you got to try new things in order to grow the sport. But the problem is if you implement something like the DVP, and after the first year, we saw problems with it. Last year, it was god awful. I mean, NASCAR was kicking cars out of the race on the first lap. You know what I mean? Like that's just awful. I mean, that's awful for the sport. That's awful for sponsors. It's awful for teams. It's terrible. But we went through so many years with this DVP, without that being addressed of how detrimental it was to teams, to sponsors, to drivers, to the money into the sport. I mean, it's everything about it is detrimental. I don't think that there was a positive thing out of this other than it being squashed. There's no positive out of it. But this needed to be realized the year after it was implemented.
Yep.
Because we've been having the same problem every year.
Yeah, I agree. I'll talk about it more in a second because I want to bring this all full circle. But the last one was the playoff eligibility. People are dubbing it the Kyle Larson rule. I would dub it the Chase Elliott rule because of his suspension that he had a couple years ago. Maybe even the Bubba Wallace rule with his suspension. But if you do not compete in all 36 points paying races, and you happen to make the playoffs by via winning you're in, all the playoff points you've accumulated throughout the year do not carry with you to the playoffs. You start with the baseline amount of points if you happen to miss a race, whether it be suspension, injury. I think they only said the only way you could get out of it was like birth of a child, and maybe I don't even think medical was one of the reasons either. Like the Chase Elliott thing wouldn't have happened either that with the medical. So I don't know, man. I think I see where they're going with this, right, Tom? You want the drivers to be able to compete in all the races to compete for the championship. And it kind of fixes the problem that me and you brought up, right? Where with this stupid winning you're in system, you win a race. And let's say you win the Daytona 500. You could fake an injury for 6-8 months, come back in the playoffs, and you're racing for a championship with a playoff eligible waiver. You know what I mean? So it's like it fixes that problem, but this shouldn't have been a problem to begin with. I think honestly, if we got rid of the playoff system and got rid of the winning you're in, and it just went based on points, it wouldn't matter if you missed 4 races. If you were able to make enough points throughout the year, you should be able to qualify for the championship chase. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion on that.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, the ultimate fix is to just do straight up points throughout the year.
Exactly.
We could just make it super complicated and to where anybody new to the sport doesn't understand a damn thing that's going on. I think that's a good route that we need to go. I mean, NASCAR's saying that obviously, but it's asinine. It's to me, it's just asinine. Stop complicating complications of gimmicks. I mean, at this point, it's like we reinvented the wheel about 16,000 times. It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense. None of it makes sense.
That's exactly.
Welcome to NASCAR. Sorry to all new fans.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm so not excited about NASCAR. Professional sport, my ass. That's the way I look at it. We make new rules to fix rules that they made before that fix things that weren't broken. It's like I don't know, man. I think all of them are basically dubs, right? Like, with the DVP good. Not disqualifying cars, I think that's a great dub. But why did we take so many steps to get back to where it was originally? The 41st entry, we're on the right track. But still, we're missing the point, and we should revert back to the way it was.
Yeah, but it's promoter's choice. It's not even like
it's true.
It's not even like the small events.
Yeah,
the small events you don't get a 41st entry.
Yeah, which is dumb because like we've had several races over the past few years where 41 guys show up and they send one guy home. Why can't we have a promoter's choice for
Stupid.
the one guy that gets sent home and have all 41 that drove to Vegas on a freaking random day in March, you know, to be able to compete in a race? You know, that's what I'm saying. It's like we're making steps forward, but we're also not taking the steps to get back to where we were. And then with the playoff eligibility, where I see where they're coming from, it makes perfect sense why they're doing it, to prevent people from sitting out races on the duration of the year, whether it be suspension, injury, whatever it may be. But then again, we had a full season point system, it wouldn't be a problem to begin with. So it's like, I don't know. We're making right strides, but we're still making strides that should never. I mean, it's just a cluster with BDN. So we'll talk about this more as the season goes on to see how some of this stuff gets played out and affected. Also, I think we talked about it last week. We did talk about it last week. With Helio Castroneves being potentially that 41st entry going into the Daytona 500.
It is
Yeah,
him.
I would assume that's basically why they made this rule. Next up, Chastain SVG, both could be split in races for Junior Motorsports. The Xfinity Series, and the number 9 is 2025. I'm excited for that. I think both of them are capable to win multiple races. I mean, it's going to be awesome to see.
It's going to be freaking domination.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I hope they bring in Corey Day, which we'll talk about him a little bit later with the Chili Bowl, but I hope they bring him in for a couple starts in the number 9 this year as well. That'd be kind of cool. The next thing I want to talk about, Colapinto, reserve driver at Alpine with a 5-year contract. We heard last week, we mentioned on the podcast, Jack Doohan potentially is only signed for 5 races. Bringing in Colapinto, I can see Colapinto by race 6. He's going to be in that seat full time.
Dude, the writing's on the wall here.
Yes.
Why would you sign a 5-year contract as a reserve driver?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Why would Alpine look that far in the future as a reserve driver? They don't give a damn about the reserve drivers. All they do is sit in the sim. They don't care. They'll just hire the next guy who's cheaper than Colapinto.
Yeah.
To me, that just doesn't make sense. So I think the writing's on the wall. I think Colapinto is in race 6.
I hope so, man. I was really skeptical about him coming into last year when he got that fill-in job for Williams when Sargent got booted. And holy cow, did he impress the hell out of me. I think Colapinto's going places. He's one of my new favorites to watch on the grid, and I really hope he gets that ride. I would have went Colapinto way before Jack Doohan. I understand Doohan was in the pipeline and everything, but I think Alpine realized, like, nobody signed Colapinto. Like, this is a guy we got to put in our stable. Whether he starts this race season or not, which me and Tom both agree, I think it's race 6, but I'm glad that he's going to have an opportunity. I think race 6, Colapinto's in that ride, and he's going to be off and running. It's going to be fun to see. That's going to be a dream team with Gasly and Colapinto. Alpine finally making some good strides, I think. Maybe turning some things around. We'll see.
The only thing that's going to go against him is if he wrecks a lot.
That's true.
Chill out on that.
Yeah.
That's all he needs to do.
Yeah, get some more experience under his belt. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll figure it out. Yeah. So I'm excited. Next one. I'm sure Tom's excited about this. I saw the rumor a couple days ago, Brady and Jimmy Johnson potentially linking up for an 8,500 ride. Well, here they are linked together with Chip Ganassi, bringing in Sebastian Bourdais in for the Indianapolis 500. What a 500.
Oh man, what a crazy team that is, dude. An NFL legend and a NASCAR legend going in together for an Indy 500
NASCAR or with an IndyCar champion. How many freaking IndyCar championships has Ganassi won? Like 6 with Dixon, 3 with Palou.
Well, Bourdais won Champ Car, it was
it was Champ Car. Yeah,
Champ Car.
Champ Car.
Yeah, he's won championships and Champ Car. He's an F1 driver. He's a sports car driver.
Dude,
I mean,
insane, bro.
What else do you want?
I mean, this is a 4-time
freaking dream team,
right? I think it's a 4-time, 3 or 4-time.
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, yeah, it's somewhere in there.
I'd have to go back and count. It's hard because the IRL and the Champ Car, I don't like. I know they combine the series or whatever, and like they combine stats, but it's hard to calculate the wins there. But yeah, dude, that's freaking exciting, man. Oh my god, I can't wait. Indy 500 is going to be nuts, man. Also, on terms to the Indy 500, I do want to talk about David Malukas. Tom, what's going on there with David Malukas?
Brother, they literally chose the worst freaking number to give that man. The worst number. That number is cursed. Listen to me. That number is cursed. If Malukas can turn it around, it'll be a freaking godsend. All right? Seriously, I swear to God, there's like some Indian spirits on that freaking number, and it makes the driver go freaking bananas and hit every wall in sight. Seriously, it's just I don't know what they were thinking with the number 4. I mean, let's just start over. Give him 28.
Yeah.
14 plus 14 is 28. Well, that's an Andretti number. We'll give it another 14 on it. Make it go to freaking 42.
Do 0-4.
Or something.
Yeah.
0-4. I mean, good God. Please. Anything but the 4 number.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Malukas is fast. Foyt's been fast at the Indy 500 the last few years, but Tom's right, man. That 4 is cursed, dude. I just don't think this is going to work out.
They lost their lead engineer, the one that was doing all the work. They were even sharing intelligence with freaking Penske. Penske was running Foyt setups at the Indy 500 last year.
Yeah, but isn't Malukas isn't he in the Penske pipeline right now as a
he is
development
in the Penske
driver?
Pipeline.
I wonder if it'll be a Penske prepared car.
It won't be.
You don't think so? Oh,
no.
That's gonna be rough, man.
It's gonna be a rough couple years, and all Malukas needs to do is just get the hell out of there as fast as he can. Honestly.
Well, I'm excited to get an attempt at the 500. We'll see how it works out, but I agree. I think there's a lot of dirtiness going on there. I don't know how it's going to work out. And a little bit more to the IndyCar stuff I do want to talk about real quick was Jacob Abel to Dale Coyne Racing in the number 51 in 2025. I'm excited for this, actually. Jacob Abel, one of the fastest guys that we've seen over the last couple of years in Indy NXT. He's really good on ovals. He proved that the last couple of years. I'm excited to see what he could do. I know it's Dale Coyne. I know it's going to be an uphill climb as a rookie, but I think he's going to do better than Stingray Robb did as a rookie with Dale Coyne.
Oh man, I think that's a no freaking brainer. I think Abel's probably the best driver that's been in that car since Bourdais stepped back into it in 2018 or 2017 or what? Yeah, 2017.
Well, Malukas had a good run there at the 18 car, but the 51, yeah.
Well, yeah. So look, here's the deal with Dale Coyne. If Dale Coyne wants to be fast, he'll be fast. All right. He will make his cars go fast. I remember in 2017 when Bourdais got in that car, I was like, career killer. It's over. This is terrible. Like, God help us all. But he went out there, won St. Pete, ran like a freaking king. I was there, and it was just freaking ecstatic.
Watching him win that race at St. Pete is one of my favorite Bourdais racing moments of all time.
It's one of my favorite IndyCar moments of all time. I mean, that race just in itself, just sitting on pit road, my jaw was just dropped. I mean, look, some people might never be able to see, like a Dale Coyne car, versus like a Ganassi car. That Dale Coyne car is like the Trailer Park Boys of reality TV. All right. And Ganassi is like the 90210 Beverly Hills, whatever. I mean, it's the best of the best. And then you have a Dale Coyne car out there, running, 8-year-old equipment, with godsend shocks that just propel him forward. I'm telling you, if DCR wants to be fast, it will be fast. And it could be 2025. I don't know. It really depends on what Dale Coyne wants to do.
Alrighty. Just 2 more talking points of news here. First off, Daytona 500. If you guys are trying to find tickets, good luck, because then we got a sellout for the Daytona 500. Unbelievable, man. These freaking Alabama mans, Daytona NASCAR, Dale Senior Junior fans, selling out the 500 this year.
Neff son, cousin brothers. Yeah.
Oh man, this is probably the least excited for the Daytona 500 I've ever been in my entire life this year. I mean, I'm just so disheartened by NASCAR. Not NASCAR, the Cup Series. That, it's really hard for me to get pumped up for NASCAR this year, man. It really is. So
no.
Also, Valentino Rossi returning to BMW in 2025. The GOAT. I think he's the GOAT, man. I enjoyed watching him last year. I think he learned a ton. He has speed everywhere he goes, and we'll talk more about it here with the WEC preview for the season. But I have some big, optimistic hopes for this BMW team going into 2025. What are your thoughts?
Same thing. I think Valentino Rossi's a hidden gem. Excuse me. I think that if any team can pick him up, it's going to be a huge positive for their team. I think he proved it last year. I think BMW kind of put their necks out for him. And honestly, I believe it fully. They saw a good return with Valentino Rossi. So I think that's huge. I think BMW sees the potential in him, and honestly, they need to give him everything he needs And if they do, championship contending, I don't think that's far fetched.
I agree. 100%. We'll talk about it more here in a minute. We do have one more little bit of news, and this is heartbreaking. Came out today, and I think it's so sad. But Mike Wallace, we talked about him making his Daytona 500 attempt this year, and old BDN decided to put an axe to that. The same series that allowed Big Willie to make a start at Daytona. The same series that allowed Corey LaJoie to go out and shit all over his own feet at any racetrack that he went to in NASCAR. The same NASCAR that told Haley Deegan she could drive after she tore up just about everything she ever driven. Sad moment for NASCAR, man. He's a former Daytona winner. I understand he hasn't been in the car in however long. It doesn't matter, dude. He's earned that right. He's earned that reputation. Has done everything, in my opinion, to be able to earn this opportunity. It's not like you can't go out and drive Daytona. You're putting the foot to the fucking floorboards, dude. And you're going in the left-hand corner in a pack where you feel with the modern NASCAR Cup Series, you're just fuel saving the whole time. Anybody could do that. I'm sure your grandma, who can't even drive to the grocery store, could do that. I mean, come on. What's happening, dude?
Everything you just said.
Heartbreaking, dude. Freaking beating. Alrighty. All right, that'll be the news for today. I do want to talk about last night's Chili Bowl prelim just for a short minute. Larson wins the prelim night last night. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how the hell he did it. We just finished C feature number 2 here. It looks like Zach Dahm, who is one of your favorites here on Tuesday night, looks like he ends up qualifying through the C main. He'll be in the B main later tonight, as we're watching a little bit of Chili Bowl while we do this podcast here tonight. But last night, prelim night, Kyle Larson, fantastic job. I don't know how he did it. Halfway through the race, he was running P6, ended up climbing his way up to the front of the field, doing Kyle Larson things. I mean, I'm not a big on Kyle Larson. I'm not a huge Kyle Larson fan, but last night watching what he did in that prelim night was pretty damn impressive. Not having the best car and being able to take that to victory lane. Shane Golobic, P2, was the best car all day yesterday in prelim night Monday. It just came up short. I think it's his 6th. Take this, Tom. His 6th prelim night second place finish without ever winning one prelim night. How freaking heartbreaking is that, man? They asked him in his post race.
That's crazy.
Like, were you willing to put your bumper to the back of Larson for the win? He's like, I was willing to, but I never would have done it. I mean, I wouldn't take any honor in winning a race like that. But he's like, one of these years, maybe I'll win one. But the upside is he locked himself into the pole shuffle. He's locked into the show on Saturday with a chance to potentially, however they do the pole shuffle this year, to be able to get on the front row and maybe win the Chili Bowl this year. I do want to talk about Brent Cruz. What a terrible, terrible Monday night he had. Wrecks in his heat race, doesn't score enough points to advance to the qualifiers, has to start in the back of the C main, drives his way from the back of the C main all the way up into the A main. I think into the B main. He wins the C main, starts at the back of the B main, drives all the way to the front, wins the B main, starts at the back of the A main, drives himself all the way up to P4 in the 30-lap feature. Brent Cruz, absolute freaking madman, demon, probably the best performance, I think, all day on Monday, or the redemption story, eating a little bit of soup there. He's going to be a favorite going into the B main. He'll be starting at the front of the B mains on Saturday, so we'll see how well he can do. I also want to talk about Briggs Danner. I'm talking to Tom just before the podcast. I penciled him in as my dark horse going into this week's Chili Bowl. I thought about it all day Sunday, a little bit on Saturday, trying to think of who was going to be my dark horse. And after the performance he had last year with that underfunded team, being able to sneak his way into the A main, I was like, man, Briggs Danner this year with ABR, Alex Bowman Racing, he's got a super fast car. I think maybe this is the year he can actually contend for a win. Oh, man, Tom. Pulls a slider on Shane Golobic 7 laps into the race for the lead and goes from locking himself in, winning prelim night, to absolutely junking his race car and having to start in the E main on Saturday within 1 second of time. That is Chili Bowl. That is Chili Bowl if you've ever heard it. So he'll be coming through the E's on Saturday. We'll see how well he can do. And lastly, I do want to talk about Christopher Bell. Fantastic job in the Race of Champions. Ends up winning it in a dominant performance. Really, the only guy that had anything for him, I would say, was Dazen Persley. Other than that, I mean, Bell is on another level. His return to the Chili Bowl, return to the Expo Center. What a fantastic run he had there last night. Alrighty, we'll preview the race here in a minute. I just want to talk about prelim night. We're watching prelim night tonight. Buddy Kofoid looks fast. We'll see what he can do. We'll be watching that here after this podcast. But interesting. I did want to mention also Kyle Larson. He's winning the pole, Tom, as the favorite to win Chili Bowl. He's got the 70% of the pole. I knew that was going to happen to come in, but I just don't see it, man. I don't know. His car wasn't that great last year. That was or last night. That was all Kyle Larson there. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's preview the 2025 World Endurance Championship. Let's start off with some schedules. So we got the Pro at LaSalle this year. Same schedules last year is what it looks like to me. We got Qatar's 18-12 kilometer. Imola's back. Obviously, the 6 hours of Spa, which is one of the marquee events in the entire motorsports world. The month of May. Stalwart, I guess, was what you would say every year. 24-hour Le Mans in June again. The premier race of the series. We got Sao Paulo. We also have Coda coming back for the American Swing. Fuji again for the 6 hours, and then 8 hours of Bahrain. So I like that there's consistency in the schedule, Tom. Especially with a lot of these. I think a lot of the reason this is a good big win for the World Endurance Championship is the fact that there was a lot of new manufacturers that came in last year and this year to be able to have some consistency, to maybe take and build off the notes that they learned last year to maybe be more competitive. I look at Alpine. I look at now with Aston Martin jumping in. We'll see how good they can do. Peugeot being able to continue to build with that 9X8. Maybe we'll see a little bit more parity. Maybe BMW gets it figured out as they had a rough year last year. I think that's the biggest win ultimately with this schedule. Besides 24-hour Le Mans, Tom, what's like the race you're looking forward to the most?
Oh man, I freaking loved Qatar last year.
Great race.
I thought that was a freaking phenomenal race. I'm looking forward to the 6 hours of Spa. I think that's going to be a great race.
Favorite.
I always look forward to Sao Paulo. I think that's just a freaking legendary track. I mean, whatever you could put freaking, I don't know, one of those electric Barbie carts from Walmart on track there, and they could put on a show. And honestly, this whole schedule's a freaking banger.
It is.
I think I think what would do most justice here, Jay, is the race you're least looking forward to.
I know, right?
I think the one that I'd least look forward to is probably Fuji.
Fuji? Yeah, Fuji had its moments last year. I think really the only upside to the Fuji race last year was watching Valentino Rossi making the moves he did. Other than that, that race is pretty dull. So I'd agree with that. The other one would maybe be Imola, because Imola last year, the race didn't live up to the hype that I thought it was going to. It kind of swung the championship a little bit there. We did see Toyota end up winning that one, but yeah, I think you're right. I think most is. I'm really excited for Coda again, man. That Coda race last year was really fun.
Awesome.
Watching what was it? Kubica end up driving through the field there with the AF Corsa team. They end up winning the race. I mean, especially getting a little bit of redemption, it felt like, for their terrible performance or their choke job at Le Mans. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a great season. We're gonna go over some of the driver lineups. I might need to, unless you have it pulled up, Tom. Some of the driver lineups. If not, I could stream that for you.
Driver lineups for WEC?
Yes, for 2025. We'll talk about some of the cars and teams. I guess I'll lead off and let you pull it up. If not, I can stream it.
I got it. I could also post it in the chat here.
I've got it pulled up, so I was just wondering if you had it or not, so we could talk about some of these lineups.
I do.
First off, I do want to talk about Hertz Jota. They're switching to Cadillac this year. I'm excited. They've got Sebastian Bourdais, Jensen Button, Alex Lynn piloting one of the machines, and they got Earl Bamber, Norman Nato, and Will Stevens piloting the other. So basically all of the premier Cadillac drivers from around the world are jumping into this ride for this season. What are your expectations for Jota this year? I consider them a championship favorite going into this year. Not a championship favorite, championship contender. Obviously, Ferrari, Toyota, Porsche kind of hold that threshold right now in the World Endurance Championship, and it's going to be hard for them, or it's going to be challenging for Cadillac to kind of take that leap forward. But with the driver lineups they have now, with the full support from Cadillac, this is the premier Cadillac team in the World Endurance Championship. I think this team has a legitimate opportunity to win races and contend for this Constructors Championship, maybe even potentially also the Drivers Championship.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing that's going to hold this team back is Cadillac itself. I think they've got the lineup. I think that they've got some freaking stellar drivers now, going to be piloting these cars. I honestly, I just think that the only thing that's going to hold back this team is going to be Cadillac. They're really, yeah. You just got a stellar driver lineup. There should be no excuses from them. You know, yeah. I think it's just going to be Cadillac.
I'm excited. I think it's gonna be my favorite team to kind of pull for here in 2025. I'm really excited to see what Hertz Jota can do, especially a lot of
Yeah.
the drivers. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Bourdais. Obviously, we know Tom how much he loves Bourdais, and I
Oh
also like
yeah,
Earl
brother.
Bamber. Earl Bamber's great. Alex
Yeah.
Lynn's great. I mean, both cars have stacked lineups. I'm excited to see what they can do this year. I think they'll definitely be contenders for this year's championship. The next team I want to talk about here is Alpine. Obviously, they're two cars. Basically a lot of the same guys and same lineups that we had last year. Schumacher's back, Machiavecchi's back, Hasberg's back, Shatine's back. I mean, they're basically running it back again, and I'm excited to see. Like I said earlier with the schedule, a lot of continuity from last year's schedule to this year's schedule. Maybe a lot of notes they built. Maybe I put a lot more stock into this team considering how great they ran last year, the 24-hour Le Mans, which was one of the premier races that they ran all year until late in the race. They had some issues, kind of lost pace. Can they maybe take some of that momentum, take some of the stuff they learned last year, and maybe improve on it this year? I'm really excited about Alpine in 2025.
Hmm.
Is there any teams you're super excited for going into 2025?
Well, I'm excited for the updated Peugeot.
Okay.
Um, they had one good race last year and they didn't even finish it. So, um, uh, I'm Toyota. I want to see Toyota do good after all of the bastardization that WEC did to their car in 2024. I hope in 2025 they can shove it back in WEC's face. Honestly,
I agree. I agree. They're still running the GRO 10 this year, which, in my opinion, is kind of an L. I was hoping that we get an updated car this year, especially considering that their 3-year deal kind of ended. They didn't. Obviously, you just mentioned Peugeot. They're going to continue running the 9X8 with some
oh, are they?
modifications and
No, they got
updates.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with
Sorry.
some
I didn't let you
modifications
finish.
and updates. Yeah. So we'll see if so Peugeot and also Toyota both being two of the oldest hypercars in the field, both making updates this year. We'll see if they can improve. I look at Ferrari as a whole though, going into 2025. They're bringing back the
Yeah.
entire lineups for both all three cars going into 2025 from A, of course, as well as the factory team. Um, Back-to-back 24-hour Le Mans winners. Both cars, the 50 and 51, both won it back and forth. The A, of course, the team, like we mentioned, led so many laps at Le Mans last year. Is this the year, Tom, that Ferrari takes the step forward and they end up winning this constructors championship? Last year, Toyota won the constructors, Porsche won the drivers. Ferrari kind of just sat there. We won Le Mans. That's all they had to their name last year. Do they take that step forward and can they win either constructors or drivers this year?
I think that's in the hands of Ferrari. I don't
I
think it's in
agree.
the hands of the drivers. I think that if anything, really Ferrari kind of dropped the ball last year. But you know, and granted, they had some great moments in 2024, but they really got to build on that. They really got to make these programs better for the drivers, whether it be reliability or performance or anything dynamic on track. Ferrari's got to take the next step there. But like what you said at the beginning, Jay, the schedule is the same. They're going to be able to use all of the same telemetry that they had last year and build upon it. So really, there's not that much of an excuse for Ferrari this year. Um, they need to do good.
Yeah, I agree. I think anything short of either a drivers or constructors championship for Ferrari is a big disappointment this year, especially considering, like you mentioned with Toyota, we don't know what the World Endurance Championship is going to do with BOPs yet. Like we mentioned with the
Yeah,
IMSA stuff on our preview there, we don't really know what a lot of these BOPs are. I've been looking around the internet. I haven't really
no,
seen any updates on any BOPs, so it's going to be
me neither.
interesting to see what they decide to do here with the World Endurance Championship here. Um, oh shoot, dang it, my bad. Had to quit sharing my screen for a second there because I was having a little bit of delay issues. So I think we're back. I think we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. We're back. All right. I think first off, before we make our championship picks, Tom, I think it's time when we talk about our favorites and maybe dark horses going into 24-hour Le Mans this year. I mentioned it. Ferrari, you're your 3-time or they're 2-time defending back-to-back. Toyota went back-to-back before that. Uh, Probably your two favorites going into Le Mans this year. They finished 1-2 the last couple years. But if I'm gonna stick true to my bold prediction for 2025, my pick to win Le Mans this year is going to be Porsche Penske. I think that this is the one race left in the world that Roger wants to win before he ends up not.
Kicking the bucket.
Yeah, right. I didn't know how to put that without being a complete dick, but this is the one left that he has, man. This is it. This is the last race on his docket that he has to win. And I think this is the year, man. I look at some of their lineups. They've shook things up a little bit. We got Andler, Christensen, and Jomine running in the 5 this year. Then they got Matty Campbell, Estre, Vanthor in the 6, which I think the 6 is the stronger team. Matty Campbell, Kevin Estre, Lawrence Vanthor. I think that's the team that's going to do it. Give me the number 6, Porsche Penske to win Le Mans. Roger Penske in France, waving the American flag on them Frenchies, dude, and just living it up as driving Porsches. Wins the IMSA title last year, won the constructors title last year in World Endurance Championship. This is the year, man. I think that they end up winning the 24-hour Le Mans. And then when it comes to my dark horse, I don't know, man. I've went back and forth on this. I'm going to go Alpine. I'm going to go specifically with the number 36 with Machiavecchi, Miles, and Schumacher. I'm just on such a high from last year. Like this team, for the first 5, 6, 7 hours, were in the top 6 to 8. Even, I think they cracked 5th at one point. I was just so impressed with how good Alpine did. I think they're going to have a great opportunity to do it again. They're running it back with some of the same drivers. Great driver lineup. Look for Alpine to have a big year this year in 2025, not only in the entire championship battle and the constructors battle, but also look for them as it comes and pertains to the 24-hour Le Mans.
All right. For my favorite, I think what I'm gonna do here, Jay, definitely not picking Penske if he implements a charter system in IndyCar, because what a joke.
True. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'm gonna shoot for the number 7 Toyota, with Mike Conway, Kamui Kobayashi, and Nick DeVry. I think that driver lineup just in itself is just super peak. They've got a great driver lineup there. I mean, if Weck BOPs the shit out of that car again, I mean, I could just see it not happening. But I mean, early predictions, I'm still going to go with Toyota. Yeah, and also, if anything, to Toyota, they never give up. Like, God forgot to put the quit in that team. You know what I mean? Like, they just continue to improve and look for any type of performance improvement. And so hats off to those guys. I think I am going to go with the 7 Toyota. And so we'll see. I don't know. I hope Weck doesn't screw it up. But for my dark horse, I think Alpine's great. A choice there. Proton, great choice. Peugeot, great choice. But I think what I'm really gonna go shoot for here, Jay, I think I'm gonna shoot for the 007 Aston Martin, because why not? Honestly, that's a freaking badass car. I mean, it could drive 15 mile an hour slower around the circuit. I wouldn't care. That's a freaking sweet car, and it sounds amazing. And honestly, that's all I have. That's it. That's really it.
Heck yeah, dude. I love it, man. I'm excited to see how good Aston Martin can do going into 2025. We'll see how they can perform across all motorsports. All right, now it's time. Constructors, drivers, you could go both ways, whatever you want to do to predict here. But I think it's going to be a clean sweep by Ferrari this year. I think they're going to win the drivers and constructors championship. I'm going to go with the number 50 in particular to be the front runner with that team. Nielsen, Molina, and Fuoco. They end up winning Le Mans last year. I think that they're just this close to breaking that glass ceiling and taking advantage of Toyota and Porsche, obviously being the kind of the two favorites going into 2025. I think that Ferrari is just going to be on another level this year. And I think that they take the constructor and drivers championship. And I think it's going to be a battle down to the end. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think this championship isn't going to be tied up until the final lap at Bahrain, just like it was this year for the constructors championship. I'm excited to see how this all plays out, and I'm excited to see if Ferrari can actually do it. If they don't do it, I would be kind of surprised. Like Tom mentioned several times in this podcast already, like this is the year, man. If they can't do it, it's because they beat themselves. They've got the drivers to do it. They have the car to do it. Now, can they just capitalize on a monthly basis and get this championship this year?
Yeah, Jay. I mean, I agree. Look, Ferrari. I think Toyota and Porsche are probably going to be your top three contenders, whether it be for drivers or constructors. The only thing that I have against Ferrari is all that freaking PTSD I have from F1.
Yeah.
I just it's so hard for me to choose them, man. Like seriously, it's the only thing I get flashbacks of horrible pit call strategies between Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel, all the way down to Massa and Alonso, all the way, even before that with Raikkonen and Massa. So I don't know, man. Look, if they can turn the corner and get that stuff straight, I mean, I honestly feel like that's the day that man walks on water. But it's hard for me. You know what I mean? Like I've been watching F1 for a really long time. Huge F1 fan. It pains me. But again, it's entirely possible. It's possible. I think it's possible with Toyota and Porsche as well. I just don't. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go constructors championship to Porsche. I'm gonna go drivers championship to the 7 of Toyota.
Nice. I like that. So reverse of last year. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. Those nice picks. All right, we're gonna touch on the LMGT3 for a second here before we end this off. I'm excited for Heart of Racing. I mean, and I'm a huge fan of the Aston Martin Heart of Racing team. We talked about it before the podcast last year, man. The Heart of Racing team, the Aston Martins, at the end of the year, were one of the best GT3 programs on the planet. They were winning everything. They were the most improved. Also with BMW as well, being one of the most improved, especially with the number 46 with Valentino Rossi coming back. Excuse me. I'm excited to see what they could do. We always talk about Iron Dames. They're going to be fun to watch. They always are. And then your championship team from last year, Manthey Racing with the Porsche, dominant last year at so many different stages of the season. Are they able to redeem themselves and bounce back and win a second not redeem themselves, but continue with the strength that they have and win a championship? It's going to be fun to watch. Proton obviously making some starts in the World Endurance Championship this year with that Ford Mustang. We'll see how that does. I'm not really super excited for it. And then obviously we got Ferrari making some starts, obviously in the IMSA series as well as with the World Endurance Championship fight. I guess, Tom, let's make a pick for championship and 24 Le Mans. If I was to pick a winner for Le Mans for GT3, I'm picking the number 46 WRT team with Valentino Rossi. That team, Vanderlinde as well, and Al Hartley. This team, man, they were so fast last year. I think they're running like P2, P3 last year before they finally put that thing in the wall. Not Valentino Rossi, by the way.
Yeah,
I think it was Hartley behind the wheel at the time.
Yeah, it was.
I think he figures his stuff out this year. I think the 46 and BMW, who ended 2025 or 2024 in such a freaking streak, man. I think this is the year that they get the championship. Like constructors, drivers, it doesn't matter. They're going to win one of the championships this year, and I'm super excited to see it. And they're also winning at 24 Hour Le Mans.
Yeah, I think that that's a great choice. Honestly, I would choose it as well. But I just can't deny the fact that 27 Aston Martin is just so damn fast. And like you said, they really turned up throughout the year. I think they continue that momentum. I think they continue on. I think, honestly, I would not be surprised if that 27 won the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors. I think it's Aston Martin's year.
I agree. I mean, I still look back at that race last year at Coda when they absolutely obliterated the GT3 field. I mean, it wasn't even close. I remember Iron Dames qualified on pole. They ended up getting by Iron Dames sometime during that race, and then they were gone. I mean, they were uncatchable, and that's really the chain reaction events. And then we saw them go to Petit, obviously, and dominate there as well. So I think that's a great pick. I think Aston Martin, BMW, I think we're in occurrence there. I think those are the two teams to watch this year. Not taking anything away from Porsche. They still got the crown. We're going to have to see if they can dethrone Porsche and Manthey this year. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's our full WEC season preview for 2025. Kept it kind of short and brief here with you guys. Made some picks on some of the major races went over schedule and some of our championship and dark horse picks as we go into the 2025 season. Alrighty. Now that we've covered that, I think it's time to pick our Chili Bowl favorites going into this weekend. So obviously, Monday night, Larson was the man. Tonight, Buddy Kofoy will be watching that here after this podcast. I'm sure he's definitely going to be the guy to beat tonight. Corey Day on Wednesday, Christopher Bell on Thursday, Logan Seavey on Friday. Definitely probably your 5 favorites going into this year's Chili Bowl. I've thrown around this a lot, Tom. I've thrown it around a lot. I've been trying to decide who's going to win this year's Chili Bowl. Race of Champions last night almost swayed me a little bit. Watching how freaking dominant Christopher Bell was, how fast that car was. There's just something about Christopher Bell this year that really impresses me. Also, Buddy Kofoid. We've said it last year. I mean, he should have won last year's Chili Bowl. He should have won it. Screwed over at the transponder. He's going to be a threat. Larson obviously is going to be a threat. I just see him making a hung money moment. I can't pick him. Tanner Thorson looked good last night in the Race of Champions. I think he's going to be a threat. Cannon McIntosh can't drive Cannon. He's going to come from a B main, but he was really fast last night, made some mistakes. He's going to be interested to see. Shane Golobic, this might be the best car he's ever had at Chili Bowl. He's freaking on rails this week so far. Corey Day, one of my personal favorites. It's hard for me not to pick him. And then and so when it comes down to saying it, laid out all the favorites, but who is going to win the Chili Bowl? Oh man, it's easy peasy Logan Seavey, baby. Let's go. This dude is the most dominant damn driver ever, dude. I mean, this Chili Bowl this year, 40 laps. He's got to get through prelim night, which is Friday. He's gonna have some tough competition. Justin Grant's gonna be on deck. Lots of heavy hitters on Friday, right? I think Seavey's gonna win Friday night prelim night. I think he's gonna lock himself into a good opportunity on the pole shuffle. If you start within those first 2 rows, I think you have a very good chance of winning this race. Probably the only chance of winning this race is coming from those front 2 rows. But Logan Seavey is so damn good at adjusting to the racetrack. We saw it last year when the rubber went to the bottom. He was the first one to get off the top and go to the bottom. When the track widened out, slicked off, the tires were starting to wear, Logan Seavey found the grip. You just look back at 2023, same thing. Once he got to the front of that field, controlled the race, and when the grip went away, he was able to find the grip, stay to the bottom of the track, be able to manage, not make any mistakes. That is what Logan Seavey does. Logan Seavey is Mr. Clutch. Logan Seavey wins. Historic, in my opinion. There's been 2 drivers that have won more than 2 in a row Chili Bowls. Christopher Bell, obviously, 17, 18, 19. Kevin Swindell won his 4 in a row. Logan Seavey era. I said it last year on our recap for the Chili Bowl last year. This is the Logan Seavey era. He's going to win another 2 or 3 in a row. He continues. He wins 3 in a row, and he becomes history-making. Wins his 3rd driller. It's going to be a big storyline. Easy peasy. Logan Seavey, you are the Chili Bowl champion 2025. As it comes to Dark Horse, I had him picked on Saturday or Sunday. I said it at the beginning of this podcast, recapping last night's prelim night. Briggs Danner. I think Briggs Danner is the man to beat. He's racing for ABR. They've had a lot of bad luck at the Chili Bowl, a little bit of good luck. Last night, Briggs Danner was the fastest car, was going to win prelim night. He had the best car. He was going to make it happen. Him and Shane Golobic were putting up a hell of a fight, and he actually outshined Golobic at the end of that race. He's coming from an E-main. He's going to be eating some of that soup there on Saturday, which we're going to be doing a watch party for. It's going to be fun to see him come from an E. Can he do it? It's very unlikely. It's going to be extremely difficult, but if anybody can, and with how fast his car is, I think it's Briggs Danner. I think getting in that wreck last night, I think it put a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to go for some redemption, and he's going to make the Chili Bowl A main. Now, once he makes it, can he win it? Only time will tell, but I'm going to be watching Briggs Danner as my dark horse for the 2025 Chili Bowl Nationals.
All right, Jay. Everything you said about CV, I believe, is correct. I think he's going to win. I think it's destiny. 3 in a row for CV. I have that feeling, right? CV just has. It's almost like it's just in the air for me. I think that CV has the opportunity. He's got the car. He's got the experience. What he did last year during the Chili Bowl, the main event, was just he acted like he was just mountains above an IQ of everybody else. I think that he just continues that this year. And I think that CV is going to be an absolute weapon when it comes to who to choose to win this race. So I'm going to go with CV as well. I think it's just hard to deny the fact. Dark horses, I had a really hard time with this. And you know what?
It's hard.
And no, it is. I just, you know, I just went with Pursley, man. I feel like if I don't know, man. I feel like I could change this like a woman changes her clothes in a 24-hour period. You know what I mean? Like it's so fluid. Like and also the risks that every one of these guys go into with all the alphabet races. Anything can happen. I don't know. I'm going personally. I'm gonna stick with it for now. I'm going personally.
Heck yeah. I like that pick, especially with last year going from the D to the A, to fourth in the A.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
last night was probably the most competitive with Bell. I think Percy's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this year. I think he's got something to prove. So I like that pick. Me and Tom both on the CV train. I know he's not winning the poll right
yeah.
now, but trust me, watch Logan CV on Friday night and then go watch him go and do his thing on Saturday. It's gonna be fun to watch. Like I mentioned, we'll be doing an all-day watch party on Saturday, starting at I believe 9 Eastern time or 10 Eastern time in the morning, all the way till about 10 o'clock at night. So if you guys want to come tune in, we got 3 different streams scheduled on our channel right now. Uh, I'll be on the whole time, or at least most of the time. So there may be a different cast of characters. I know Jared showed interest in wanting to come join us at least at one of those streams on that day. So it'll be fun. We'll be going through some soup, eating some soup, and watching some Chili Bowl.
Yeah, also on Saturday, we're making a run for the iRacing Daytona 24.
Oh,
So
okay.
I I didn't realize it was this weekend. I thought it was the weekend after next. So I think though, Jay,
What time does that? Is that go Saturday night into Sunday night, or does it go
Friday
Saturday?
night
Friday
into
night.
Saturday night.
Well, that's fine. If you run that, stream it, have fun
Well,
doing that, and
I'm not running the whole thing. I
oh,
was
okay.
thinking maybe we could stream the Chili Bulls on YouTube and the Daytona 24 on Kick or something.
You could, I think you could stream YouTube at the same time from 2 different
Oh,
servers.
really?
Yeah, you could do 2 different servers at
Well,
the same
then
time.
look at that. We're in business,
Yeah,
baby.
so we'll have 2 streams going on, dude. Chili Bowl watch parties. So we're gonna double dip here on Saturday, try to get them views up. We're getting close. We're getting back to that monetization. So make sure you guys watch this to
Yeah.
length. We're a couple hundred watch hours away right now. We had a video, that Chili Bowl one that you guys seem to like, has like 4.2K views. Got us a ton of watch hours. So we're getting close back to that monetization. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you've watched this long, big shout out to you guys. Final. So yeah, like I said, Tom will be doing his thing with the run with the Rolex on Saturday, and we'll be here for the Chili Bowl, and he'll jump in when he when he needs to, and I'll jump in or whatever. We'll do it. We'll have fun. It's gonna be a fun day. Relax, chilling, racing all day, whether it's Chili Bowl, maybe even do a little bit of Roar before the 24. We'll talk about a little bit of that this weekend, which is what we're gonna preview next, Tom. And now we're gonna make our picks for poll for the Rolex 24, all 4 classes. First off, my poll pick for GTP, I'm going with the number 10 Cadillac with Wayne Taylor Racing. Cadillac won pole last year. I believe they won it the year before as well. So they're looking for 3 straight polls. I just think that the Cadillacs are just on rails this year. I think Wayne Taylor's on a mission. I think I picked them as my dark horse to win the championship this year. I think it all kicks off this weekend with the granddaddy of them all, 1/3 of the American motorsports triple crown. That is the Rolex 24.
Yeah, Jay, I think that Cadillac is a great choice. I mean, obviously, they've got a buttload of poles under their belt, and I think that Cadillac, especially on the IMSA side, is extremely strong. And I think that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially with Wayne Taylor Racing. So we'll see. I think that they're going to be doing really good, but I truly believe that the number 93 Acura Meyer Shank Racing team is going to take pull, and especially with this lineup. And listen, Nick Yellowly, Alex Pillow, Ranger Vanderzan, and Kakunoshin Ota.
Yeah, that was the one I couldn't pronunciate. I'm not good at my elemental P's.
Yeah, but look, we've got a phenomenal GTP driver with Nick. We got a phenomenal just overall race car driver with Alex Pillow, and Ranger Vanderzan is a phenomenal GTP driver. So I think if you put any, I just look. I don't know anything about Kakuno Shin Ota. It could be a fantastic driver, could be a placeholder. I don't know. I don't know a lot about him. But look, if you put Nick or Ranger in this car for qualifying, it's got a shot.
Oh, 100% agree. That's a great pick, man. That's a great pick. I think Acura is going to be one of the favorites to win the race, and we'll preview that all for you guys next week. But we're doing poll winners today. LMP2. This is a tough one to pick, man. There's at
Yeah.
least 7, 8 different cars you could have picked here. I'm just gonna go with my heart here, and I'm gonna go with Toby Sowery, George Kurtz, also with Colton Herta, and I we're all good. We're all good. Okay, I froze for a minute. I don't know what just happened there. But yeah, I'm going with the 04 CrowdStrike. They won the Rolex in 23. Bringing in some good drivers. I'm excited to see what Colton Herta can do behind the wheel of this 04 CrowdStrike team, and I think they're going to qualify on pole and really get this 2024 championship battle for LMP2 kicked off the right way. Oh, wait. I cannot hear you. 1 second. Let me fix that. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. We're going to get this all tuned up so we can hear Tom talking here. Check. Okay, 1 second. I'm still not picking you up. Let me go properties here. Mic check? No, I'm still not picking you up. I'm having some issues here, boys. Test.
Test.
Yep, we got you. We're good.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys.
All right, Jay. So everything you just said, just about the competition in LMP this year is, I mean, spot on. Look, who the frick knows who's going to win this championship at this point? Honestly, I mean, you've got some great teams coming in or coming back, and then you got teams like Pratt and Miller. They're starting up. They're going to be racing in LMP. So you got United, CrowdStrike, Tower, Era, Interpol or Inter-Europol, sorry. Pratt and Miller, Riley. I mean, you got all these teams in LMP2. Just seriously, any of them could win. I mean, it's so hard to just make an argument for one of these guys. I just my pick though, and I'm doing this based off of pure biased reviews. All right. I'm taking Tower Motorsports, Sebastian Bourdais for the win. Let's get it.
Hell yeah. I like the pick. All right, next we're going to do GTD Pro. I think this goes a lot with what I said with GTP, with Cadillac winning the poll. I think Chevy's coming in here, big appendage swinging. I think that this is the year they want to sweep both GTD and Hypercar, claim both ends of prototypes and sports cars. So I think the number 3 Corvette showed a lot of speed towards the end of the year. Them and the Ford Multimatic both coming in last year. The Mustang and the Corvette were both having a ton of issues. They were kind of the laughingstock of the meme of IMSA last year, especially even in the World Dirt Championship. I think things turn around. This new GT3 program with Corvette is on the up and up, and I think that this year, they got Garcia behind the wheel, which is a formidable driver there.
Yes.
Then they also have Alexander Sims, who is an exceptional driver. He was a teammate to at Whelen Cadillac a couple years ago with Pipo Derani, and then Jucadella, which is amazing race car driver. So this team is stacked, dude. I just think they're gonna take pole, and they could potentially win the whole damn thing. Who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah, for sure. For my pick, like I think LMP or GTD is very close to LMP2. There's a lot of good drivers here. There's a lot of good teams here. But the one I'm really pointing at here, I'm going to go with the Heart of Racing 007 Aston Martin. With Ross Gunn, Alex Ramirez, and Roman DeAngelis. They also got they've got another driver potentially. It's TBA. We'll see. But I just think that Aston Martin team, or just the Aston Martin in general, is really fast. They show it at WEC. They continue to show it in IMSA as well. We'll see. But I think I really do think Aston Martin has a chance with pole this year.
It just feels right seeing an Aston Martin with a 007 on the side of the car. I mean, it just feels
classic.
Right. It just feels good, man.
A classic.
I'll definitely be pulling for them a little bit this week, this Rolex 24 this year as well. And I love their driver lineup. Like you mentioned, Ross Gunn is a hell of a driver. Riberas is a hell of a driver, and DeAngelis
Rivera's is
has
awesome
been
driver.
proven before as well. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
Yeah.
All right, final pick for GTD, the pole qualifying. I'm gonna go with the number 21 Ferrari. Really, not a whole lot of reason behind it besides obviously Alessandro Pierguidi. I really like him. I think he's a great driver. Obviously, he's won the 24 Le Mans 2 years ago, was it, with the 51 Ferrari. I just think he's a great driver. Also, because Coliseo and then Man, and then also obviously one of the best women female race car drivers in the world, Lilo Wadu, is also going to be behind the wheel. If Pierre Guidi qualifies this car, I would put him miles ahead of everybody else for pole here. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's going to be hard to beat for sure.
Yeah.
All right, for my pick, it's actually it's actually really hard to go against Ferrari. Really, I think the only other team that could put up a fight with them is the number 12 of Vassar Sullivan. I think I really do think that's probably the only other team. I really do. But here's what I'm going to choose. I'm going to go with the 50 AF Corsa Ferrari 296 GT3, and purely because of the driver lineup. Now, listen, check this out. First driver, Custodio Toledo. Riccardo Agostini, phenomenal GTD driver. Conrad Larson, phenomenal GTD driver. Now, check this out. Arthur Leclerc.
Yes.
You know who that is?
Yes.
You know who that is?
Yes.
All right.
Sir.
All right. That is Charles Leclerc's little brother. He's racing with Ferrari at Daytona with AF Corsa. It's almost like dream come true. You know what I mean? I think that I think this team's going to be pretty awesome to watch.
God, I love the beginning of the motorsports season, Tom. I mean, we get Chili Bowl and Rolex in the month of January. Like, how much better does racing get than that, dude? Like, I mean,
well, the last week in May.
Yeah, that's true. I was about to say, well, the entire month of May, to be honest with you, because we have 6 hours of spas in May. IndyCar, the road course at Indianapolis leading into May. I mean, we have the All-Star race for NASCAR, and then obviously the Indy 500 and the Monaco Grand Prix. And last year we also had Imola as well with the Formula One cars. So I mean, May and January I think are the best 2 motorsports months, and then you get down into October, which is pretty good too because it's the end of IndyCar, F1 season kind of getting wrapped up, NASCAR's end. I mean, and then obviously IMSA's finale there at Petit Le Mans. So there's good portions of the season for sure. So God, I just love this. Is great, man. Motorsports is starting up again. I'm all jittery and happy every day, so it's so much fun. So those are our picks for pole for the Rolex 24. I just want to end this podcast out by saying, make sure you guys follow us all on our social medias. We got X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, basically all the social media platforms out there. We're also streaming over there on Kick. So if you're watching us on Kick, we really appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up on this podcast tonight if you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the little red subscribe button. Help push us out into the algorithm. Like I said, we're getting so close to our watch hours required to get back to monetization, so we can get those awesome, cool super chats and little donation stickers and everything back, and all the fun stuff that comes with being monetized. Get our memberships back and everything along with that as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in here for this podcast tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the prelim nights of the Chili Bowl. I know I will be, and we'll catch y'all on Saturday, Tom. Saturday! With Tom will be doing his Rolex 24 attempt, and we'll do a watch party here on the channel as well. We'll work all that out and get everything scheduled for you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great stuff. Make sure if you guys want to stay up to date with any of the news that we talked about at the beginning, make sure to follow our Discord. And I have to mention it, but our damn merch store, holy cow. Go check out our merch store. Go buy you some Dega Boys swag, Dega Boys merch. Rep the boys as we get into the motorsports season. We're here, Tom. We made it. The off season is coming to an end. We're here in the motorsports season of 2024, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Have a good week.